Want to learn how to be more body confident? Want to learn how to finally stop hating your body and feeling completely overruled by negative thoughts about your body? In this video, I'm going to teach you 10 proven tips that completely changed my life with body confidence. And I know you're going to want to listen to every single one because they really work magic. So make sure to stay all the way to the end so you can be sure to soak it all in. If you are looking for more proven tools and resources on how to transform your relationship with your body, to say goodbye to the battle with your body, overcome emotional eating, and finally step into the love, the acceptance, the confidence, and compassion that you really deserve, subscribe to my channel and you'll be notified every time I post a new video every week. And then just hit that bell to be reminded of those notifications. So if you are someone that is currently struggling with your body, not feeling confident, feeling low in your body, go ahead and give me a like right now and let me know that this is a topic that you really want to see more of. So let's start with these tips. First of all, I want to say that in my life, I have struggled with disordered eating, body dysmorphia, orthorexia. My entire life was basically focused on this struggle with my body that I could never get out of. And it was through focusing on these tips that I actually was able to overcome these struggles and to live a life that I truly never thought was possible. So let's start with tip number one. Okay, tip number one, first things first. It is a widespread issue. So over 91% of women alone right now are struggling with their body image. So that is something to remind yourself of. You are not in this alone, and this is a wide worldwide spread issue, and it's getting worse. Due to social media and the pressures that we have in our society, unrealistic beauty standards, the mental health struggles around body image are at an all-time high. There's actually something called Snapchat dysmorphia, where people are struggling so much with this obsession of trying to look like a filter that they are actually getting really sick from all these pressures. So first of all, you are not alone, and knowing that supports you to understand that this isn't something that's an isolated event just for you. And the second piece of this is that it's not your fault. So what I mean by that is that we have been conditioned, no matter where you are in the world, we have been conditioned through beauty standards, through our culture, through diet culture, to really adhere to these standards that are completely unrealistic and that are designed to make us feel really poorly about our body. So when you can actually start to identify that this is conditioning, that this is messaging, that these pressures are things that you were essentially brainwashed to believe about yourself in order to profit those industries, you can actually start to separate from it. So what I would recommend is tip number one is to really start using the language of a part of me. So a part of me learned to believe X, Y, and Z about myself and who I had to be in the world, what my body had to look like. A part of me was conditioned to believe that I had to be in a smaller body in order to be more worthy. Whatever those stories are that are keeping you stuck in this negative cycle about your body image, please give a voice to that part of you and help that part of you to understand that it's not your fault. It was something that you learned through no fault of your own, through either our culture, society, maybe your upbringing, if you had someone in your family who struggled with this as well. And in doing that and in labeling it as a part of you, what we can do is we can actually learn to have compassion and understanding and healing with that part of you that learned all this messaging. We all of a sudden become the observer of those thoughts instead of identifying as those thoughts. And so by choosing to really grow the awareness that it is a part of you that inherited this, you can start to remind yourself when those negative thoughts come up, right, there's that part of me that believes this. And in doing that, you also identify that there are many other parts of you that truly do believe differently, that believe that you don't actually need to change your body to be more worthy, that being body confident doesn't necessarily at all mean in any way changing your body. In fact, it doesn't. That, there are many other parts of you that can support you and help you come back into your authentic power. And really coming back to this concept that a part of you learned through no fault of your own to have these conditioned thoughts and beliefs. Okay, number one. Part number two. Okay, step number two. So with that, what's another really helpful and to this is that when we can really understand that a part of us has been conditioned to believe all of these things, and we realize that the diet industry, the beauty industry, are all founded on us hating ourselves, and they profit off of that, we get to have a lot more increased awareness around what we see and what the messages that we receive. So the diet industry is a $72 billion industry at this time. And less than 2% of people who ever go on a diet actually experience any kind of shift or long-term results from it, because they aren't designed to work. I know that sounds really bizarre, but the truth is they aren't designed to work. This idea of restriction is something that really doesn't work. Diets profit off of us feeling negatively about ourselves. So the more negative we feel about our body image, the more we feel compelled to buy products, pills, anything in that market. And what we know is that, and I'm sure if you've been on diets before, much like myself, when we actually do them, we prescribe to them, we stay to them as perfectly as we can, and we get to that end result or as closest to, what happens typically is that result doesn't last, that confidence doesn't last. And then, we're feeling like failures, we're off the diet, we're now binge eating, the cycle continues. So we get addicted to this hook of, I try a diet, I get on the diet, I experience some kind of result, then the result happens, then I'm worried about losing the result, then I binge eat, and then the cycle goes on. It's not sustainable, and that's how they profit. They make money off of us feeling miserable about ourselves and convincing us that we need to buy something else. The beauty industry works in the same way. We are conditioned to believe that we need to buy different products, different things, different creams, different whatever, have different procedures to feel more confident. And as someone who has gone to the lengths of having plastic surgery when I felt really low about my body, I can assure you that deciding to do that did not bring me any more confidence. In fact, it actually made it worse. So I hope that you can really start to identify and have the education that diets and these things, the beauty industry, the products that we're encouraged to buy are all supposed to help us feel more confident, and they profit off of us feeling miserable. There's a lot of tactics involved in showing us body types that less than 2% of the world actually has. And the reason for that is that the more we feel negatively about ourselves, again, the more we compare ourselves to these people who don't have the same body types as us, the worse we feel, the more we buy the product, the more we go around on their little cog. So that's important to know, because that again gives you more power to have more confidence in yourself, more acceptance in yourself, and to really gain your power back and decide that you don't want to subscribe to those messages anymore, that you're choosing not to be a part of that cycle anymore. So this is where this second step is all about having that awareness, reminding yourself of these things, and activating this other part in you that is known as the rebel. So the rebel is this part of you that's going to rise up and decide that you don't actually want to suffer anymore. You don't want to be a part of that brainwashing system. You don't want to prove them right that you have to change your body in order to love yourself more. You want to actually disprove that messaging and show the world that you can be loving and accepting of yourself exactly as you are. And that is the most empowering place to be in. So what happens is that as we realize a part of us has inherited all this conditioning and messages, we start to get kind of angry. We start to get frustrated. We start to rise up, and this frustration and anger grows where we actually want to do something with it. We actually feel this sense of almost leadership within ourselves to decide, okay, I'm actually done with this. I'm done with just falling into the same old suffering. I'm done with being part of the 91% that are suffering. I now feel this motivation for change. So that is a huge step in stepping into more body confidence and healing. Okay, so step 1 was all about understanding the conditioning and that part of you that inherited it. Step 2 is all about tapping into this rebel inside of you, the one that rises up and wants to do something. And ask yourself, do I want to be a sheep or a leader? So maybe you are content just in this suffering. Maybe you are content imagining being amongst a herd of sheep. I have nothing against sheep, by the way, but maybe you are content just roaming around with the sheep, just trotting along the land and just going where everybody else goes. But maybe that isn't you. Maybe you are tired of suffering amongst everyone else and you want to rise up and be that, the leader amongst those sheep that decides to go a different way. Maybe that is you, and that's what's awakening within you. And that is what is required to change. We have to have this urge, this hunger, this complete exhaustion with the suffering in order to really pivot and change and step into this level of inherent confidence, which is what we're all truly looking for, that unshakable confidence that can't be taken away from you because that is within you. Okay, so step 3, here we are. This is the coming back to the reminder that diets don't work. So getting rid of diets altogether in your life. That is very hard. Obviously, it takes time. It takes practice because we are so conditioned to believe that we are supposed to be chronically on diets in order to love and accept our bodies more. The more we shrink ourselves, the more we morph ourselves and restrict our life and our quality of life, the happier we're supposed to be. Well, again, coming from someone who was chronically on diets, I can assure you that even at my smallest weight, I was more miserable than I ever thought possible from following these diets and protocols. Because again, they are conditioned, they're created not to work so that we keep staying on them, become addicted to them. And they have this whole philosophy that's like this secret sauce that they use where they prey on our belief of failure, so we go on these diets, we adhere to them to the best of our abilities, but they make them so impossible that we can barely keep up with them. Then we fail them, then we feel shame, and then in order to feel better again, they get us by getting back into them and preying on that whole belief system that we must be a failure because we can't stick to the diet. So the cycle goes round and round. When you can break free of the mentality that diets are going to support you to feel more confident, you are going to feel more confident because you're going to trust your body. You're going to stop living your life counting calories, feeling completely agonized by what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. You're going to actually be present with your friends and family instead of thinking about, what you ate that morning or what you didn't eat or what you're supposed to eat later. Your life isn't going to be ruled from those negative and obsessive thoughts anymore. And again, this takes practice and time, but making the choice to say, I'm not going to go on a diet again and I'm going to practice listening to my body and exploring what feels good for me is extremely important in your journey with body confidence and acceptance. Okay, step number 4. All right, so moving on from this conversation about diets, branching off of that, we have this concept of listening in. So tuning out the noise and listening into yourself. So there is a lot of noise out there in terms of pressures around dieting and again, like beauty standards, products, everything. We can become sick with being riddled with all the information that's out there. And diets are cleverly designed every year. A new fad comes out because that's how they make more money. So it can become really easy to get sucked into that vortex. The most important thing is to really, really, really do your best to quiet all of that external noise and come back to yourself and start practicing what is best for me. How do I get to learn what my body is asking for? We often experience a real difficulty in having any type of body confidence or acceptance or compassion because we're looking for that everywhere outside of ourselves. And we shut out this whole connection with our body. Of all the clients I work with, the most common thing I hear is I feel completely disconnected from my body. So this whole concept of body confidence has to come from feeling connected to your body, feeling at home with your body, having a trusting, loving relationship with your body. And we cannot have that when we're not actually even listening to our own hunger cues. We're not trusting what our body is saying in terms of what you feel like eating because we're so caught up in what the media and social media and everyone is saying that we should eat and do and be, etc., etc. So I would highly recommend and urge you to just do your best to remove any information, any accounts that feel triggering, that feel that they are riddled with information about food or diets that is not supportive for you, and to come back to yourself and to practice listening to your own hunger cues, throwing out that rule book, coming back to just really getting to know your body. And this is going to take time. It's not going to be overnight, but if you can give yourself and your body this trust that when your body's hungry, you listen and you eat. And when your body says, I want, a hamburger, or I want an apple, or I want an avocado, or I want a grilled cheese, you listen and you deliver and you build this trusting relationship with your body. You are going to experience more and more acceptance, healing, compassion, and confidence. We can't get to confidence immediately from a place of negativity, and the journey to getting there requires building a relationship with ourselves and our body. So the next step that I want to talk about is step number 5, and we were just talking about this, is clearing accounts that are triggering for you. So realizing that you create your own reality, and a lot of this isn't your fault. Instagram is very smart, has a lot of robots behind it and analytics, and they just know, okay, if you're hovering on this person's page and they have this kind of content, we're going to push more content to you like this. So if you are following fitness instructors or people that are posting things that feel triggering, it could be celebrities or otherwise, things that just don't make you feel good in your body, please remove them. Take the time to really go through and cleanse your feed. You've probably heard this message before, but I can't stress it even anymore, because subliminally, we don't even understand how much of this influences us. Ask yourself how many times you go on Instagram in a day, and how many times are you completely unaware of how much time that you scroll through a feed. And if you're sitting there just consistently subjected to all these photos and messages that are making you feel bad about yourself, it's just perpetuating that same hole of negativity about your body. And the way to feel more confidence in your body, more acceptance, more neutrality, is to actually have more body diversity and follow accounts that actually are body positive, body accepting, speak about body confidence, things that actually make you feel good. So your Instagram account becomes this actual safe haven of love and acceptance that makes you feel good every time you go on it. So that's a huge thing. Please, please, please take the time to do that. Okay, next step on that note. So please realize that celebrities also are not real people. I mean, they are real people, but let's be honest, we are so used to comparing ourselves to them, and you need to remember that they have whole teams completely dedicated to the way they look, right? So it's unrealistic to think that we're ever going to look that way, number one. And the second piece is they highly edit, Facetune, Photoshop all their photos, okay? So what you see on Instagram, whether it be a celebrity or a fitness influencer or anyone of that nature, you think by looking at it that it's not edited or that it looks super real, because those people have advanced skills and teams dedicated to just editing their photos. So please, there's a prime example here, even Kim Kardashian was busted recently for posting a photo of her body, which is so iconically, desired in media and everything else, because her curves are so perfect in all the way that they are. This is the whole storyline. And she herself is editing her photos to make herself look different. So clearly, even with the amount of teams and dedication she has and the obsession to looking a certain way, she's not satisfied still and Facetunes her photos. And she posted a photo and everyone called her out on the Facetune flop, and then it was deleted. So just goes to show you, everything that we think is real is not. And that really helps to also bring yourself more acceptance. Okay, next tip. So let's talk about clothes. Yeah. If you are keeping clothing in your wardrobe that is from a couple years ago, that doesn't fit you, and that you're hoping is going to fit you one day, what message is that sending to your body? It's sending the message that your body in itself today is not good enough, and therefore you are waiting until it fits something different in order to start feeling confident and worthy. And that is just a cyclical trap that's going to keep you stuck and feeling negative about yourself and your body. So by actually getting rid of those clothes that don't fit you or that you're longing to fit in again, you are going to allow your body the space to heal, to have more compassion, to have more acceptance, all of those things. When you actually wear clothes that fit you in current day and feel good on your body, you are immediately changing your relationship with your body and your body confidence. You cannot have acceptance for your body if you're constantly waiting for your body to change and fit into the jeans that you wore 10 years ago in high school or last year or whatever. Please do not buy clothing that does not fit and aim to get into it. That is a disaster waiting to happen, and your body is going to rebel against you with that type of mentality. So please do buy clothing that feels good, that feels comfortable, that you really feel good in, because that's the most important thing. Your body is going to thank you. Your body is going to appreciate you. So think about things that are comfortable, soft, whatever, make you feel sexy, confident. Your own personal style is a wonderful way of expressing your confidence and turning the dial up on your confidence. The other thing is with jeans, we get really stuck in this vanity sizing metric where you just want to be, you know, a size 26 or whatever size you were in high school, or who knows. So please don't get stuck in that trap. Buy the jeans that fit you today, that feel comfortable. Please don't buy jeans where you feel like you really have to lay down to do them up. I don't care if they're supposed to stretch out after a couple washes or whatever the story is. Buy jeans that don't need to do that. You don't need the agony of getting dressed every morning, squeezing into a pair of jeans, basically communicating to your body that you're uncomfortable and that you wish it looked different in order to have a better experience throughout your day. So please do invest in getting rid of those clothes or donating them and going to buy clothes that feel good in your body right here, right now. You're going to experience an instant shift in your confidence. Okay, next tip, very important. So in order to go from feeling negative about your body image and really struggling to feeling confident, first of all, that's a very immense leap. That's literally jumping from one end of the vibrational chart to the other, and it's very unrealistic to think that that's going to happen overnight, or I don't want to say at all, because you know that doesn't sound right, but feeling confident is also not something that is a constant. Real humans experience dips in their feelings about their body. That is a normal human experience. So this journey of going from feeling really low to feeling totally confident all the time is actually not going to happen, because we are living, breathing humans who in life experience day-to-day triggers, and it's not about being 100% confident all the time. It's about changing your experience so that you have a more loving, accepting, compassionate, confident relationship with your body. And when triggers come up, you know how to lovingly support yourself to keep that confidence and that self-worth strong, and really knowing the difference. So going from feeling low about your body to feeling totally confident is probably an unrealistic metric for you to have right away. But if you can look at this in terms of how can I release some of this negativity and welcome more compassion and acceptance, that's going to help to grow and support your journey with confidence. Sometimes when we set goals, or we write out our goals and or affirmations, and we say, I am confident in my body right now, or whatever the statement is, it actually activates a part of us that wants to tell the truth, which is, well, no, I don't, or wants to kind of rebel against that. So my point is, if you can actually shift your mindset to say, okay, part of me may not be happy in my body right now, but I am open to having a more loving and accepting relationship with my body, and using that as more of your mantra or your guideline, you're going to see a lot more progress than going from 0 to 100 overnight, because that's just going to actually set you up for feeling like you're failing and not doing good enough at it. So start with some reasonable expectations that it takes time to go from really low and struggling to feeling so strong and vibrant, and just start to invite in this energy of compassion and forgiveness and healing with your body image, which leads me to the next step. If you are really struggling out there, first of all, I see you, I feel you, I know I've been through this before. It is so challenging, and I know that it feels like it completely takes over your life. So please reach out for support. Start with a friend, start with someone you feel comfortable with. You can share with me in the comments below. But please start working with someone, a practitioner, a therapist, a specialist, anyone that a healer, whoever you feel called to explore this with, because it is something that is challenging to overcome on your own. And all of these steps absolutely can create transformations in your life, but you need to work with someone who can actually take these struggles and support you and help be a guide for you on this journey. That is so, so, so important. And For me personally, after having a journey of, I don't know how many, 20 plus years of struggling with my body and eating and everything, and having gone to therapy and done all the things, what I found created the most miracles in my life was EFT tapping, which allowed me to really transform and release the negative thought patterns that were keeping me so stuck, all the anxiety about my body, the low self-image, like all of it was in my mind. And that's what we really learn in general, regardless of what practitioner you choose to work with. Our struggles with our body image are not, it's not about the physical appearance, it's about the thoughts that we're having that are keeping us stuck. It's about the incessant negativity, the incessant judgment that keeps us stuck in this cycle of thinking we're not good enough. So doing this EFT tapping really allowed me to transform that in a way that I never thought possible. And I saw my life shift in countless ways, to the point where I was like, I feel like this is a true miracle. I didn't think I could live a life where I actually felt compassionate and loving towards my body and confident and not afraid of intimacy anymore, and that I could have a healthy, intuitive relationship with food and movement and not feel totally imprisoned by all the things that I once was. So if you're curious about that, you can check out my channel. I have so many free resources of this proven tool, EFT, emotional freedom techniques, so you can try that out. But this step is all about finding what's right for you, finding the practitioner that's right for you to support you and take your healing journey further. You're going to go there faster and more powerfully when you have support behind you. Okay, the next step is, so we cannot experience just in terms of how our brain works and life works as a human being, we cannot experience feelings like confidence and acceptance and compassion when we are feeling stressed. So stress can come through in a myriad of ways. First of all, if you have a history of trauma or anything like that, then your nervous system might have the on switch. In terms of your stress response, you might just consistently have that on switch. Even if you feel like you're living day to day with low stress, we are very used to having low grade stress chronically in our society and just feeling that that's normalized. So there are a lot of things that kind of mask stress, but essentially any kind of stress for us, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, any of that, or having a past history of having any trauma, you are likely experiencing something in your nervous system where your stress response is switched on, and it's like you left the light on. And what happens when we're in this is that the way our brain works is it actually shuts off all the part of our brain, the frontal lobe, that's responsible for feelings like compassion, ease, gratitude, confidence. So we're basically unable to feel those feelings. It's just not actually physically possible when we are experiencing stress. So this is why things like meditation, things like gratitude, things like journaling, things like walking in nature, things like working with a practitioner, doing healing work, trying tapping, any of that are going to immediately help to shift your nervous system out of that stress response so that it feels safe and that toggle comes down. And then all of a sudden your brain, those other parts of your brain actually turn on, where you can connect to feeling confidence, compassion, and gratitude, and all those things. So the issue is that our negative thoughts about our body are stress, and when they're chronically happening, that's why it's impossible to feel this compassion. So we need to do something to shift the energy, to bring us into more of a state of relaxation and calm in order to access feeling confident. So that's a key precursor. So just a simple exercise you can do, as I suggested, would be to go for a walk outside. If that brings you joy, listen to a song that brings you joy, go cuddle your dog or your partner, or, think of anything that might shift your energy and help you to feel more relaxed. That is going to support you to shift into those feelings of more compassion and confidence. As I shared earlier in one of the steps, tapping has been an instrumental life-changing tool for me and my clients. And what you can do is you can just tap through these points repeatedly for 5 minutes. And that is going to directly speak to your brain, your nervous system, and calm it down and help you to access those feelings of confidence. So you just tap 5 to 8 times per point here. Don't even need to say anything as you're doing this. And you just tap continuously through the points until you reach the top of your head, which is the next point, and you cycle through again, the same ones I was just doing, for 5 minutes. and then you will experience a direct shift. So sometimes we just really forget how much of a role stress plays in our lives, and how if we can just shift our energy, we actually experience a direct shift in our confidence. So that I hope you try out, because it is so powerful. Already feeling so much more relaxed. Okay, the last tip is to really tune into what makes you feel good. So often we try to solve the problem of our body image by focusing on the same area. And just like Einstein said, we can't solve our problems with the same energy that created it. We actually need to look at different ways of supporting ourselves that are beyond just my body image, my body image, my body image. We get really stuck in this mentality of, if only I could change my body, then I'll feel more body confident. If only I could eat differently, then I'll feel more body confident. If only, and it always comes down to like the same three things: food, body image, exercise, right? And that, we're taught this, so it's not our fault. But the thing is, if we can look at our lives holistically and see what else is going on in my life, where else am I not feeling joy? Where else am I lacking comfort? Where am I missing out on life experiences? Where can I fill my cup up elsewhere? This whole system of focus is going to have a direct impact on your relationship with your body and your life and your confidence and all of it. So sometimes when we're deeply struggling with our body image, it does feel really tough to get up and go outside for a walk, or call a friend, or do any of the activities that we may be missing out on. It feels kind of like I need one before the other. I need to change my body and then I'll go on a date. But the thing is, it's as long as you're withholding your life because of your body image, you're just going to keep suffering, and your life needs to be nurtured and fulfilled for you to actually have healing in your relationship with your body and for you to feel more confident. So start small, think about what activities bring you joy, what can bring more energy and love into your life, and then build from there. So right now, even just take a moment, write down some things that make you feel good, that make you feel joy, what people do you like being around. It could even be like, what shows do you like watching? What music do you like listening to? Do you enjoy journaling? Do you enjoy going to the ocean and just looking at it if you have that accessible to you? Do you like going for walks in nature? Think about the things that would fulfill you that have nothing to do with your body image, and start investing more of your time with those people, those things, those activities, because they will make you feel more confident in yourself and in your body image. Okay, thank you so much for listening to all those proven tips. I would love for you to let me know right now in the comments below which one was your favorite, which one resonated with you the most. Let's hear that below. And if you would like even more support and proven tools to really transform your relationship with your body and amplify that confidence, check out this video next. And you can also download my free guide with proven tips to transform your relationship with your body. So that is a body confidence checklist you can download below. And I will be so excited to see you again next week. And just remember that you can always book a call with me at any time, a free 60-minute body confidence consult call to see how we can transform your relationship with your body right now. Remember, you have the opportunity to be a leader. You can rebel against all the suffering, all the things that society has taught you, and actually learn how to lead the life that you deserve. So let's do it. It's just one call away. Love you guys so much, and don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and I will see you again next week.